Welcome students. Uh, Today we start with the class 3 of a fifth module, brittle coating methods. In the last module we have discussed a lot of things such as different crack patterns, and what are the methods to create the crack patterns in low stress region, high stress region. Okay, we have learned in the last class. So myself Veeresh Kumar KS, assistant professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering in JIT Davangere. Okay, let's start with the class. Crack detection methods. Today we'll start with the crack detection methods. How we are going to detect the cracks when it is going to be appears over the surface of the specimen. Okay, when the coating fails, when the coating fails, very fine V-shaped cracks with a depth equal to coating thickness and the width approximately 0.05 mm to 0.075 mm appears. These cracks are generally not visible to the naked eye. In order to observe these cracks, the following methods may be used. Okay. If you apply the coating and you apply the load, there some cracks are going to generate which are very minute and you can't see from your bare eyes. Okay. So for to see those cracks, you require some special methods. Okay. So first method is oblique incident method. So you can see this diagrams, you can see the cracks, there are V-shaped cracks are generated, which are very minute, it will be not seen by your bare eyes. Okay, yellow coating specimen. So what happens, this crack should be determined. How? Oblique incidence method. In order to visually observe these fine cracks, a focus light source must be directed at the oblique incidence to the surface and the normal to the cracks. For observing small areas, this is a good method. However, this method is very much time. Okay, I will just show you how it is being. Okay, you can see this crack in this direction. In this direction, the light is going to be focused. Okay, the light is focused. Means it is an oblique incidence. It is not perpendicular anything. Oblique incidence. In that oblique incidence, what we do, we will incline the light in the angle, but that oblique inclination, we will get there is a reflection of light. When we focus the light on that cracks, there is some reflections are going to be observed. By that reflection, we can observe, we can determine the what are the cracks, how much cracks are developed, and which direction it is developed, and what is the width, so what is the depth. We can understood by this method. Okay, but it is somewhat time consuming because we have to take one additional source of light. It should be angled for the specimen. So and for a different type of specimens, so you have to arrange, you have to take different arrangement. So it is somewhat time consuming. Okay. So next move on to the static flux method. So static flux method, it is one of other method, but to determine the crack patterns. See, this is a 1 minute. Okay. This is a form of electrified particle inspection method. So what we do in here is we will use the electrified particles for to inspect the cracks. This method consisting in applying a special statiflux penetrants to the coating test space. The surface is then superficially dried, leaving the penetrants in the coating cracks, and finally an ionized statiflux powder is blown over the part. What happens in this first method, what we do, we'll take one statiflux penetrants. What we do first, we are going to apply over the coating. After that, we will remove the statiflux penetrants, only leaving the areas where the cracks are there. Okay. After that, we will apply the statiflux powder is blown over that part. We will blow that statiflux powder over that part. The powder particles which have obtained a electrostatic charge in being blown from the special gun are electrically attracted to the cracks. So earlier we have applied the statiflux penetrants, and we are applying statiflux powder which is electrostatically charged. It is electrostatically charged. is in being blown over the special gun. What happens if you blow over that? That will attract it towards that whatever the cracks electrically get attracted. When the dynamic strains are being studied, or when the coating with a high threshold, the strains are used, it will often be necessary to apply the static flux penetrants, be initiating the test and that keep the coating wet with the penetrant during the test. Upon completion of the test, the part is dried and the static flux powder applied in the normal manner. The static flux does not destroy the sensitivity of the coating for further testing. The powder forms small white mounds over the cracks and provides the excellent means of location of crack patterns. The powder forms small white munds. So what happens over the cracks? It will form small white munds. So you can easily determine where the cracks are there. The crack pattern, recording the crack pattern for a permanent record. You can record that also. The disadvantage of this method is that non-uniform application of the static flux penetrant will probably result in temperature gradient due to the different operation rates. Okay, you have to efficiently apply that whatever the static flux penetrant, that is very important, and we have to clearly remove in other surface. So by that what happens? Temperature gradient effect can going to appear over that coating. So last method is dye etching method. Okay, how it is going to be? See here, the red dye etchant can be used with some of the resin based coating to increase the visibility of the crack patterns for photographic purpose. The dye etchant is mixture containing the turpentine, machine oil and red dye. The etchant is applied to the surface of crack brittle coating for approximately 1 minute. During this time, the etchant begins to attack the coating in the neighborhood of the coating too long. It will attack the coating in the neighborhood of a crack, thus making them wider. If the etchant is left contact with the coating too long, it will attack the surface of the coating. After that, etchant will wipe the surface of the coating. The coating cleansed with the etchant emulsifier, soap or water. The dye which has penetrated the crack is not removed during the cleaning and process of crack, which will glow. Okay, what happens? Which will glow the background. I will read that. Dye which has penetrated the crack is not removed during the cleaning process, thus the cracks appears as fine red lines, okay, on a yellow background. What happens? It will you can see here fine red lines are going to be appears in here on yellow coating. So like that it will be appears crack patterns. It's nothing but simple dye etching method. You have made an experiment on this also. So you have to determine the cracks over the surface. You will apply the etchant. After the some time you will remove that etchants, but some amount of etchants are going to be penetrated inside the coating. So cracks, and when you remove that, that crack appear like a red lines. So that can be used for photographic or analysis purpose. So next we move on to the types of brittle coating. Okay, you have to understand how many types of brittle coatings are there. Okay, first is the resin based coating, or it's called as stress coat. This consists of about 1/3 zinc resinate as a base, dissolved in about 2/3 carbon disulfide with a small amount of plasticizer. Dibutyl phthalate is used as a polarizer to vary the degree of brittleness of coating, which increases with its increase. So as these are the ingredients which are used in the resin based coat, where we use zinc resinate 1/3 and 2/3 carbon disulfide, then this carbon disulfide plasticizer and dibutyl phthalate, which is used for the brittlity. So like that its combination makes one coating. The strain sensitivity of this coating is varies from 0.003 to 0.0030. So this is the strain sensitivity. It can be applied to the test specimen by spraying method. This coating can be used upon 60 degree and absorbed water oil, means it having 60 degree limiting temperature. The thickness of the coating can be made vary from 0.1 to 0.15 mm, that amount of thickness, and can be used for the micro and macro and micro applications. Next is ceramic based coating. It consists of final ground ceramic particles suspended in solvent. It can be sprayed by the conventional means onto the specimen. Okay, it is going to be similarly sprayed. Upon drying the room temperature, the coating presents a chalk-like appearance, and this not suitable for use. In order to make the coating effective, it must be fired at a temperature of 550 degrees centigrade until the ceramic particles melt and cools. When fired, the coating is glass-like in appearance and blown in the color. These coatings are relatively insensitive to the minor changes in temperature. They can be used upon 370 degrees centigrade and are not influenced by presence of oil and water. So it is one of the advantage ceramic based coatings. It is nothing but ceramic type of metals are going to be used with the particles are suspended over here. The spraying meter, then it is going to be heated. So it will be like it will be turned into a glass-like material or glass-like coating over the surface. And then after that surface is used for the testing purpose. It can be used till 370 degrees centigrade. Okay, thank you students. This is the third class. I thought you will get a lot of information about the brittle coatings. Okay, if you have any doubts or queries, you can just ask me. Okay, and just it's also one of the part of that of the fifth module. Try to understand and use it for your knowledge. Okay, thank you students.